welcome to another episode of ChaoticNerdtral. We're going to take a little stroll down memory lane and talk about our first favorite video game. Maybe not favorite as in all-time favorite, but the one that is most memorable to us. I'm Sarah Willis.
It is me, Shamanfra. I'm also here again today.
I am Jenny Widmar. Hello.
I'm Shayna.
Hi.
I'm Jessica Anderson.
Alrighty. So we just had a little bit of a debate about this. I've been calling this our first favorite episode, but favorite is probably not the right word. Because if we wanted to list favorites, especially with Sam, we'd probably be her all day.
I was terrified when I heard the word favorite. I was like, oh shit, I did not come in prepared for that at all. Let me go run and stare at my shelf, but it's okay. We saved the day.
So we're trying to put into words, like, there's that one game when you were a kid that is just separate from all other games in your mind. It was just like a really transformative experience. That's heavy language for a video game, but like it kind of was.
But it will like always be amazing. Like nobody can like crap on that game because you know what? It's magic. It's the best thing. Like.
And I mean, you gotta admit, we've all transcended playing video games before when you find that right one.
Video games are important. They're art. They're...
I'll get angry about it. So, if anybody's listening to this and you disagree with me, you're wrong. And I will hunt you down.
For me, that super special video game from my youth was Legend of Dragoon. That was the game where even just queuing it up and hearing the intro music, I'm like, oh, so good. It was like probably the first real JRPG I played. Probably the biggest game I played because I was like 10 when that game came out. 4 discs on the PS1. It was gigantic.
Mm-hmm. It was huge.
I went back through in preparation for this episode and was just like watching some of like the cutscenes and just like memorable dialogue and stuff, and I started queuing up a YouTube video and I'm like 2.5 hours, and it was like for disc 1, and I'm like, I forgot how big that game was.
Wasn't the main girl's name Shayna?
It was
or was it Shana?
Shana.
It was so. I guess it depends on how you say it. I think when I was a kid, I think I pronounced it Shayna in my mind.
I'm trying to remember if they like say her name in.
No, not in the cutscene. Those weird cutscenes with like the 2 words. Yeah, but I mean, she kind of looks like Shayna too.
A little bit.
Hey, I think it's meant to be.
She has like she gets kidnapped because she's got like a demon soul in her or something. I can't remember now. Like it's been so long.
Well, that sounds like Shayna.
Well, she has one of the dragoon souls or whatever, but then they all do.
I know. I was going back through and looking at it and remembering how convenient it was that they were like, oh, the dragoon spirits are super rare and nobody has them. Everyone gets one.
Like, yeah. Like, oh, you get one, your girlfriend gets one,
this guy gets one, but when he dies, you can have it.
His twin, yeah, and it's like his twin brother, like the exact same person gets it. It's like, don't worry, you missed that character and he's dead. Here he is again, but it's not really him, like, you know, that trope.
The first time you see a dragoon, though, when Rose sweeps in with those, like, translucent armored wings, I was just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my
I'm still gonna rope you into being Rose one
day.
I
want to cosplay her so bad, but I do not currently have the skills to make her. Her armor's awesome.
It's really good.
Yeah. And I love that she's just, like, in the background of every scene, like, leaning with her arms crossed, not giving an F, because she's just like...
pissed off.
Because she's like,
she hates everybody that's there.
Years old and just like,
she's like, why am I here?
Oh, yeah. No.
I love it.
Turn-based combat, but they had some quick time events with all those memorable lines like, double strike, whip smack.
Oh, yeah. Whip smack was so good. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember darts. He had like such a stupid one, but I can't remember it now.
Double strike. And then volcano!
Volcano! Yeah. But it was so satisfying.
Oh, God.
I don't think when I first played that game, though, I knew how to do it. I think I really sucked at that game because it was like, it's pretty hard.
No, like, the age we were when it came out, I don't think I beat it. I'm sure I sunk a zillion hours into it, but like, 10 years old, I was not ready for an RPG of that caliber, but...
I think I might have beat the first disc when I was young, but then, I think I had to come back years later. And, like, I never beat it until then.
Thinking about it again, I got super nostalgic and I really wanted to play it. There's, like, no real easy way to play it right now, short of, like, buying a PS1.
I own it, and that's the only way I own it. I thought Did they ever sell it on PSN? I don't remember. I thought they did.
Made it into a PS Classic, but you can only access those with a PS3 or a PSP or a PS Vita.
Perfect.
So I went online just looking up PS Vita prices and PSP prices. They're super expensive because they're out of print.
I think I have like 3 PS2s and a PS1. You can borrow one of them.
Does your PS1 still work?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
real question
think mine
is-
does too.
Can I find a copy of Legend of Dragoon? That's
I have it.
Do
so-
you?
Yes, I do.
Pack rat.
It's hella
You
expensive.
beautiful pack rat.
I know. I just saved you like $400 between
Probably.
the system and the game.
Oh my god. No, I would borrow it.
I know. I
would
think the
totally
game's like
play it.
$200.
I wonder if I can hook it up to a modern TV.
I don't see why not. I mean, we have our N64 hooked up and functioning. I played Pokemon Snap a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I have my Intellivision hooked up to my TV, so if there's a will, there's a way.
I do not know what an Intellivision is.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's that, Grandma?
I don't know either.
I mean, I think I should say that the reason why I love video games is because my grandma and great grandma were into video games and
Aw.
played in television every weekend, and they would get like intensely into. I don't know if you've heard of like Burger Time and things
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
I
Like
have heard of Burger Time.
it's
I
like
don't
an
know what that
Atari.
is.
It's like an Atari. But yeah,
Okay.
so my gaming obsession is because of my grandparents.
Aw.
So.
Oh, that's cute.
That is awesome.
But yeah, it's got these like little giant, not little giant. That's oh my god. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. But it's got these paddles that pretty much are as big as a cell phone that you play with, and and you have
Ooh.
these like little sheets that you put in the paddles, and
That's cute. My grandparents told me I couldn't go to the arcade because it's for boys. So
Oh.
I love them to
Boo.
death, but they were those grandparents.
that's unfortunate because my grandpa always told me, "You're a woman. You're gonna do what you want, and don't ever depend on a man."
Like, see, they kind of were like that, but then they still fell back on that shit.
My grandma played Super Mario World with me on the SNES.
That's cute.
She was pretty good.
I love it.
My grandma refuses to touch anything like that. Like, all technology scares her. And, like, you know, they have a jitterbug.
Aw.
Never owned a computer.
You should also probably tell people like we go off on tangents, and we should.
We do. I mean, but that's what podcasts do.
Yes.
My grandpa played Fallout 3.
Aw. I actually know somebody that's like super old, and he's like from the Chinese side of the family, and he always comes over to Thanksgiving and like talks about Fallout, and I'm like, who are you? He's like 80, but he's
That's gonna be
great.
me. That's gonna be me.
Like, he talks about all the latest hacks and stuff.
Yes.
Jenny, tell us what yours is.
Okay. So I first so I've been debating in my head back and forth between which one I want to do but I liked how you said something that was transformative, that whenever you put it in, you hear the music, it's like, yes, this is it. So originally I was going to go with The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening because that was one of the first video games I ever played. I mean, you know, the big ass gray Game Boy. God, I don't know. I was maybe 5 or 6 when I got it. And that was just, it really stuck with me because one, I was the first one to beat it before any of my friends beat it. So it was like the first time I was able to gloat. It's the first time I had gamer rage. But after I heard you talk, Sarah, I got to go with Monkey Island.
I knew
is
you were
my
going to.
favorite. I know. But I mean, it's also the minute you put in that disc and you hear that pirate MIDI music, you're just like, yes. So I never intended on buying Monkey Island. I was at the store, and kind of like how I do books, I just look at video game covers when I was a kid and like, yeah, it looks like a cool video game cover. I'm going to buy that. So I bought Grim Fandango, which is also an amazing game. But in that game, there was a little trial disc called Monkey Island Madness, and it had The Secret of Monkey Island, which is the first game, the second, which is LeChuck's Revenge, and then a demo for Curse of Monkey Island. And I was like, all right, I'll play it, you know, let's see what's going on. And oh my god, I was just sucked in. Like, it's just the music, and for it being a game, I think it came out in, let me see, when did Monkey Island come out? So like 89 or 90? I think it was 90. But, you know, so it was like super
I was like a fetus.
crappy graphics, but like, you know, not what we have nowadays. But the art is so good and the music is so good and it's so immersive. Like, you're there. And so I loved it. And what I liked about Monkey Island is it is hilarious. It completely like like rewrote the script of like how you do video games. You have this bumbling dude called Guybrush Threepwood who wants to be a mighty pirate. Like that's just the beginning of the game. And it starts off him trying to like be a mighty pirate, but he's got to like do all these different quests, and he just kind of bumbles his way through it. But there's so much like sarcastic humor and just like weird things you have to do. Like you get this chicken with a rubber pulley and you're like, well, what the fuck do I have to do with that? And you use it to get to a different part of the game on Hook Island. So it's just, I don't know, it's just so funny. And so I'm sorry, I'm like going all back and forth. I should probably like explain
No, you're doing good.
Monkey Island is. It's a point and click adventure game. And so pretty much what you do is you have like this inventory, and as you're like going through the game, you get like all these different items, and you use these items to like do puzzles. Like for one instance with Guybrush, he, like I said, he needs to get to Hook Island, but you can't get across. There's like this giant cable, but there's like no bridge. So you use this giant rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle, which is like a running gag, and you use that to get across the island. Like just I loved it because like even though it was hilarious, you're still like using your brain to try and like figure out these puzzles like that just
You're gonna
don't
hate
make
me.
sense. What?
But I like hated Monkey Island.
Oh no, well, you know,
This is like our first debate, it's our first war. Like but I also didn't try it until I was like 20.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people like say like it took them 10 years to like finish it because of the puzzles. And I was like, what? But I was super into those kind of games. Like I played Myst. I liked.
I was gonna say this makes me think of Myst.
Yes, but so that was just like my era of gaming that I loved, and that those will always be my favorite game. But there's just something about Monkey Island that just, it's so nostalgic for me, and it's one of those games because you know you can beat it so quick. It's one of those games when I'm depressed or you know I just need to pick me up. I'll put it in. I'll play it. Let's see. There's Secret Monkey Island, like I said, LeChuck's Revenge, Curse of Monkey Island, Escape from Monkey Island. There's the Telltale Monkey Island game, and then is there one more? Oh my god.
Did they re-release them or something, right? Or
well, yeah,
they
they re-released Tales of Monkey Island.
Okay.
So they re-released the first two because they originally were part of LucasArts, which is now Disney. So they re-released them. They actually updated. So it's kind of cool because you can switch back and forth between like the original style of the game and then like the updated graphics, which is cool. But I still, you know, whenever I play it, I always switch back to the original because you can't beat the original. But I'm not doing justice talking about it because there's just so many things, but it's just and it's so hilarious. Like to beat people, you have to do insult sword fighting. So pretty much to be able to like beat LeChuck, who is always like the main character, like the main villain in the game. He's this evil pirate that just keeps dying and coming back. And to beat him, and you have to like learn how to do this insult sword fighting. And so like some of the insults are, let me see, are like you fight like a dairy farmer, how appropriate you fight like a cow. So to like practice that, you literally just walk around fighting people with a sword, insulting people until like you get good and you have like all the commands, and then you can go and like so you have to like fight the sword fighter because that's like one of your trials that you have to do. And so like you did all this stuff and you're like so excited and you're like, oh my god, what am I going to get? And you end up getting this t-shirt that pretty much says that you've beat her, like, and you're like, oh. And that's like the running game. The gag in the game is you, like he'll like break the fourth wall and be like, man, I can't believe I paid this much money for this, or like, can you believe like video games cost this much? And what's also cool is like you can't die in the game, but they'll make like jokes about it. Like you die and then it's like, haha, just kidding. Or like if you get stuck, there's a joke where you can like call the hotline to like ask for questions. They're like, no, you can't do that. So it's just, yeah, it's just, and like I said, it's one of those games where if you're feeling like shit, play it because it's just going to make you happy, and it doesn't take long to play it. And then one thing I will say, just in case anyone knows what Monkey Island is, wants to know what my favorite one is, it's actually Curse of Monkey Island. The music and the painting style, the artwork is so amazing, and it's so nostalgic for me. I love all the games, but that one is my favorite, just in case anyone wanted to know.
So anyway, is an aficionado out there.
Yes, and I have to apologize. Like whenever I talk about something, I go off in tangents and everything. So
that's the point.
Confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know I'm horrible. I think I missed the boat with that. I do like puzzle games though, but
Well, I think the thing about Monkey Island is because it's not serious, and that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I'm a little weird. I like dramatic things.
I was gonna say, you're more of a mist girl.
Yeah, I am more of a mist girl,
I
exactly.
love Mist, but yeah, it was too like it wasn't.
I like dramatic, I guess.
Mist
Yeah.
was scary when I was little.
It
I
was
know,
scary.
I
It scared
know.
the shit out of me. I actually watched my dad play Mist. I would help,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like, it was his game. But it scared the shit out of me.
No, something about it was like really spooky.
Yeah.
It was spooky.
Well,
It
there's
was
like
the
no real
Mist.
people, and
Yeah.
It was the Mist.
Did you guys ever read the books? The books were so good.
No.
I didn't
They're
know
Oh,
there
good.
were books.
I was super.
There are books,
Yeah, they were really good. But no, like
Was
I
it
said,
based off books or did they make the books after the game? Like Halo style?
I can't remember. That was so long ago.
I don't know.
I mean, I found them at Walden Bookstore, so it must have been after. I don't know. Everyone just needs that game that makes them feel better when they play it, and that's Monkey Island. And I hope to God, please, Ron Gilbert, please. He's like pretty much the one that like created the envisioned the game, and then I think it was Tim Schafer and Steve Purcell. They also helped with writing and everything like that. But I think because I think the rights are still with Disney, and I think Ron Gilbert is trying to get them back, so he can, I don't know, hopefully make one more game. I just
Do
want
whatever
one
he
more game.
wants, yeah.
I just want one more. All right, sorry. All right, who's next?
I mean, I'll go, I guess.
All right, tell us.
I'm
your
like
secrets.
unwillingly. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. So if I was going off like based off my first memory of games are kind of traumatic. Like I wanted to play the Super Nintendo, so I tried to play like Legend of Zelda, that golden cartridge thing. So I like, booted it up. I was ready to go. Like I'd watched my dad do it before. He wasn't in the room. I couldn't read yet. So I accidentally deleted all of his save files.
Oh no!
And I was like shitting my pants, like, oh my god, I have to hide. Like he's gonna be so mad. Like but then he actually didn't care, and he just loaded up, and like I was too young. You go in the forest, you die. You go in the cave, you die. Like you go anywhere in that game, you just die. You're like 4. What are you gonna do? You can't win. So that's probably like my first memory, but it's like not a great memory. It's like I guess I had fun listening to the music and stuff, but I don't know. I did like stuff like Crash Bandicoot when that came out on PS1.
Sure.
Like, but it's really weird because I don't like platformers now
I was gonna
unless
say,
it's
I hate platformers. now.
Yeah, like I
Bad
will
thing that
only
I hate
play
'em.
it if
Yeah.
it's Crash Bandicoot, which I
Yes.
still love,
The
like the
OG
remake.
ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the OG ones are good. The new one's great too. Like they really took the essence of it. But like otherwise, I don't like platforming games. So it's like I only will enjoy Mario or Crash Bandicoot. Otherwise, I don't touch those. I don't know. My first really influential game is really basic. It's Final Fantasy VII.
That's not
That's
basic.
not
That's a
basic.
classic.
That's so influential. Come on, look at you. Like,
It's everybody's like, well, a lot of people's favorite like Final Fantasy or whatever. But it came out before Legend of Dragoon. I think it came out when I was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
So
it must have, because I was older when I got the demo
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
I was 7, and I think so. Me and my dad, like, we went to Best Buy. I don't know why I picked it out. I thought it looked cool. I was like, oh, let's play this. So we played it together, and I could read, but I couldn't like read enough to be an environmental terrorist.
Yeah,
which
to
is, like-
understand the plot. Of,
Yeah,
what's happening. Yeah, yeah.
What you start out as in that game, I was like, yeah, I can kind of read, but like I accidentally named Cloud Kuo, and I accidentally I liked Tifa when I first saw her because she was the first girl in the game, so I wanted to type my name, but I didn't delete it all the way, so her name ended up being Tiff Sammy. And then
That's amazing.
yeah, and then my dad
perfect.
thought it was funny, so then when we met Aerith, he named her Sammy, and I was like, I fucking hate Sammy. Like, I hate her. Like, get her out of this game. Like, why does she have my name? So that was very upsetting to me. But yeah, I played that game. Like, I enjoyed it. It's just, like, so imaginative. It's a huge world, right? Like, there's so much going on. There's so much, like, I like high fantasy stuff. I still do. It had a lot of politics going on, which I obviously still
It
am
was
into.
a lot to take in as a child, which
Yeah.
is why it took me so long to actually play through it, because
Yeah.
it was like it like, I don't know, like my brain was trying to comprehend.
My mind was blown,
like,
yeah.
Though I will say the intro music or whatever, that will always be my
It's so
absolute
good.
favorite.
And I hear it's based off of a novel, but it's like some foreign, like the whole concept, like they took the concept from a novel. But
I had my computer literally decked out in Final Fantasy VII backgrounds and the intro music when I was a kid because I just loved it. And I hadn't even finished the game because, again,
so
on my mind. But
going back to like the terrorist thing, right? Like, so I could play this game, but I wasn't very good at it because, like, yes, I could read, but I was still in like kindergarten, first grade. Like, I couldn't really read like too much. Like, I don't know. I wasn't good at it. I sucked at the game, but I still loved it.
Can't be expected to strategize.
Yeah, and like, but you know what I would do is we would go to school and I would like LARP Final Fantasy VII with the boys. Like, I had no friends except for these boys that had also played Final Fantasy VII. We would like literally just LARP it. I'd be Tifa all the time. She's my favorite. Like, we would just like act out stuff, like punch each other in the face. It was cool. Do our limit breaks and shit. I had 3 friends because of this.
But they were good friends.
Friends. But yeah, I think I ultimately had to put this one back on the shelf too, just like with Legend of Dragoon. Like, I think I had to put it on the shelf, wait a couple years. Then when I went back, it was the first game I ever played through and beat like alone on my own. So that also kind of is like a big deal for me because that was another long one. Is like 3 discs.
Yes.
It's pretty hard, like, for back in the day. But, like, but then, like, I was into it, right? Then, like, oh, Final Fantasy, I'm just going to buy Final Fantasy everything. So then I went back to 6, and then, like, Pizza Hut gave me a demo of 8.
Those
and
were
like,
the days.
Yeah, like, you would order a pizza, and it's like, here's 3 hours of Final Fantasy 8, and I was like, oh, shit.
That's how, like, I played a lot of Final Fantasy, was just fucking demos. So that's where all my Final Fantasy knowledge comes from.
In 8, like, I think in 7 I was too young, maybe, but in 8, once I got that demo of 8, it was like, Squall's hot.
Oh my,
bang,
okay. He
10
like,
out of 10.
Yes, like 18 out of 10. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his face is like 14 pixels, but them pixels.
Like, oh, no, you could
he
tell
has a
those
champagne.
Pixels, there was
He has a champagne. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. But it's like The Night's Ruined. Obviously, I still love Final Fantasy to this day.
Yes.
I also love like all of the RPGs though. Like, I liked Legend of Dragoon because of that. Like, I mean, that was the first like formative one for me. Obviously, if I had to pick a favorite, it's a whole nother story. I don't even know. But the remake that came out like this last year, I was literally like just crying from joy.
It was so
practically.
amazing.
It was
so
beautiful.
Well, because then, like, because, you know, you haven't played Final Fantasy VII in so long. So, like, you go back to original graphics, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it looks like Legos. It can still, like, if I have played a game as a child, I can still, like, supplant my imagination on it.
Yeah.
But if I were to go back and, like, start with that, no, I wouldn't be able to do it.
No, because the remake is so...
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh my god, but it was so good. Like I didn't like Aerith when I originally played the game. They actually made me like her in like this new, like more fleshed out version
all
of her.
Guys that they redid.
Okay, so that's what I was also gonna say. Reno, like before like Squall was probably my like first one. Or like he's kind of cool. Like right, I'm a child. I'm a small child, but it's like. Yeah, he's my favorite man in this game. And now when I go back and play the remake, I'm like, holy shit.
Yes.
Can't handle it.
I know.
It's out of control. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much what started it for me. I think that was like the first one that like ever blew my mind, and then it just cascaded from there. Forever. Rest in peace. I'm very picky though now. Final Fantasy 13 still sucks.
Which one?
13. That's the one with lightning.
Oh.
Was that the one that was in the gold case?
No, 12 was in the gold
12?
case.
Okay.
12 was heavily
like...
That was all politics. It was pretty much just
politics. I remember one of my ex-boyfriends was playing that. I remember that one. I never played it.
They wanted it to like be MMO-ish, like with the battle style, and then it was weird because it was on PS2. Like it worked. Like going back is still a fun game, but it doesn't have the most exciting, like fantastical story ever. It relies way more heavily on politics, where I like more a little bit like high fantasy mixed with my politics.
They ported a lot of those old ones to Switch. To port freaking Legend of Dragoon though. God damn it.
They probably will. Like Switch is
Yeah, it's blowing up.
Legend of Dragoon, I hear, has like some weird copyright issues.
I know it's gonna be like that. It's probably why they won't do a remake either, which pisses
They,
me
yeah,
off.
because I know they were like thinking about or like talking about it.
Yeah.
But I hear it has some weird because it's a Sony game.
Yes.
So I hear they have some weird like copyright stuff.
It's
I
not
wish
gonna
they would.
happen.
That's such a. We'll just have our cosplay group still. It's happening, even though my boobs are always too big to be Maru, but I don't care. It's like it doesn't matter.
Oh, what a problem to have.
Right.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's like when I was like, yeah, I want to cosplay. Who is that one from Fire Emblem? The dragon girl.
Oh, now.
Oh, Naui.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she's
always
the
want to
cutest.
cosplay her. I'm just
She's
like,
so cute.
I don't have the body for.
I'll be
The body of
Tiki.
a
I'll be
14-year-old?
Tiki with you.
Oh yes.
I'll be Tiki. You can be
Fire
Naui,
Emblem
it's fine.
is another series.
I know. That's a whole nother one. Like, see that I think we need to have more video game episodes because
Oh, I'm sure
I
we
have
will.
so much.
I'm super fucking weird. I prefer Final Fantasy Tactics over Final Fantasy, and I think
Tactics is amazing.
Tactics, like the story and everything in that one is amazing. And that was my first. That's what actually got me into Fire Emblem was Final Fantasy Tactics. I traded
same. Yeah.
my Grandia to borrow somebody else's Final Fantasy Tactics in first grade, and then I was like, oh my god,
Grandia is another good one.
who's next?
I guess I can go. I would say I'm almost a tie for games like 1998, 1999 RPGs like that I played over and over and over and over. For me, it was Thousand Arms and Rhapsody because I just like Atlas, like the character design. I was a super
love
weeb
Atlas.
as a kid, so like if I saw this like cute anime characters on the cover of a box, I was like, this is the game for me. And
Don't you love how we used to buy like games based off of
that
boxes,
was it.
and now we
I
have
didn't even
do
have to
all this
read the
work?
back. I was like,
Yeah.
this looks cute.
That's how I got Xenosaga, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I was like, cute anime characters, cool, great.
Yep.
I remember going to Blockbuster and going in the video game aisle and looking for all of those RPGs and which one had the coolest person on the front.
It's kind of sad. I kind of miss picking it out based just off of gut instinct and art instead of being like, let me go see what Reddit says.
That would,
you
I was
know?
about to say that probably would not work nearly as well today
You're right.
because there's lots of cute stuff that is straight trash.
I mean, yes,
And I mean,
I've
I've
got a lot of games that are straight trash because
Maybe we just like kind of forget how.
Yeah, I
mean,
feel like perhaps these games aren't as good as I thought they were when I was 8. But
exactly.
like Thousand Arms for me, like it's a pretty like typical game, but it makes fun of itself a lot, and it's also like the only one that actually had a dating simulator built into it.
Oh my
And-
god, I would love it.
Yeah,
That's why
you
I
should
love
play it.
Fire
I
Emblem.
have it in my basement.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the first one I ever played with a dating sim was Jade Empire. That's like BioWare's first big game, like before they did Mass Effect and all that stuff. It's on the original Xbox, but you could like be gay in that one. It was like the first one where you could like bang anybody you wanted, and I love dating sims.
See what made me obsessed with that was The Sims because you could like date people and stuff. So yeah, so I like any kind of like dating thing now.
I wasn't allowed to play The Sims for a long time because of that. Because my mom knew there was naughty stuff in it.
Ooh.
You could
Yeah.
woo.
I never got into The Sims.
Oh, I'm
That's-
obsessed.
I don't know. I like making it, but then like I can't care
Yep,
to play
same.
it after
Same
setting
here.
it up.
I'll play it for like a day and then be like, eh. But anyways, Thousand Arms. Like,
Thousand Arms is good.
and it just made so much fun of itself, and like it was rated, I think maybe it was T for teen, but like they would insinuate that you could get with the girls but then say like, oh, this game isn't rated for that. So I don't know.
amazing.
It was
Atlas is always pushing the buttons of
yeah, it was
the rating system.
that was funny. And then I mean Rhapsody I also played probably the same amount of times, and another just Atlas cute anime game, and it was musical, and like me and my sisters for some reason made up songs about all of the characters.
That's
I
exciting.
mean, it's got like all the anime tropes where, you know, you're like cute happy girl, and then you've got like the like bitchy rich chick, and And like the evil lady that's got the big titties that bounce when she laughs.
Nice.
Yeah. I just love them.
I'm looking up Rhapsody because I had never heard of it. This looks adorable.
They remade it for DS.
This is a tactics game?
Yes.
I would probably love it.
I know I played it a long time ago.
Yeah, I just loved it. I love Atlas, just their games are always gorgeous. I cannot complain about a single Atlas game.
My favorite Atlas game is still going to be forever digital. It's going to be Digital Devil Saga forever. The first two.
Yes.
Those also used to be worth hella money, but I think they put them on the PSN, which made me upset, but also I'm happy that hopefully more people can play it. They're like Persona, but better for me. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, the Rhapsody art is super cute. Just like doing a quick Google search, like it's adorable.
Yeah, like I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna love this, and then I did. And even they changed a lot of stuff for the DS version, but I did play it and still enjoy it.
Speaking of which, if anybody wants to play Final Fantasy IV, you should play the DS version. It's really good. They like updated little graphics. It's really a good game. Super cute.
All right, Shayna, take us home.
So mine's kind of basic, but I got good reasons.
We're both basic. It's okay.
It is what it is. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Once again, not basic, total classic.
It is not basic, yeah.
So I mentioned in the last episode that my brother, he's 11 years older than me. So he got stuck babysitting a couple of times. And in these times, his favorite way to keep me occupied literally made a save file, got to a point where he wanted Epona, and let my stupid 5-year-old self ride Epona around Hyrule Field and like avoiding nonsense and whatever. And it just resonated.
That's cute.
I loved it. I thought it was super cool. And plus horses.
Yeah.
5-year-old girl, come on. But then time went on and I actually started to play it, and he would let me do like the little side quests or whatever, but he wouldn't let me really like go into the main story. Mm-hmm. Like it's my file, man. Shut up, you're a girl. But then I don't know, it was literally the only thing we had in common until I was about like 21 years old. Like that was our big memory, is hours and hours of him teaching me how to play games in general, but using Ocarina as like a, I don't know, teaching thing or whatever.
And like one of the best.
So I honestly, yeah, it's like that opening. I love it. It's the arts. Obviously now it's super bulky and everything.
For its time.
I love it.
It was gorgeous.
For its time, it was, and it's super just enchanting. Like with this,
I think it's
know.
still
I love
like on most people's like top of the list for
Mm-hmm.
one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
It would be my second Zelda game. First is obviously Link's Awakening, but yeah.
Yeah. And it was my first, so it was my like, like your first one's kind of like your,
Yeah.
and that's where you're at. I mean, like, I legit have a big old Triforce on my ankle that I got.
I was gonna say, stick your foot up on the screen, but nobody will see it, so it doesn't matter.
My ladies.
I mean, we see it. It's there. I saw it, you guys, for the 80th time.
I need to tell people, like, so when I first met Shayna, I wasn't sure about her, but then I saw her Zelda tattoo. I saw the Triforce and everything, and I was
You're like, okay, this
I
bitch
like
can
her a
roll.
whole lot. Yeah.
She's all right. We can talk to her.
Yes. So Shayna, I have to ask, what's your favorite dungeon from Ocarina of Time?
So, like, I don't know if it even counts because it's not really a dungeon, but, like, the one that sticks in my mind is the forest one.
Aww.
Like,
Yes,
your first
yeah,
forest temple.
Yes.
The Wolfos scared the shit out of me. Just that, and like the, that scared
What was
the
that
crap out
again?
of
I'm
Tiny
sorry.
Shayna.
We're gonna take these and make a song.
Like, it was terrifying. I remember the first time, and like my brother was a dick about it too, because he was just like, "Here, no, just go right through there. It's fine, like the little columns or whatever." And then they spring to life, and I almost peed myself.
thanks.
I was very small.
Yeah.
It was bad, but yeah, probably the forest temple, like that, like dark, resonating music and everything. I just.
It's just one of those games I think a lot of people have nostalgia with, because I never had an N64 because I was really dumb and my mom asked if I wanted a Sega or an N64. I said Sega. I have no idea why.
Mistakes were made.
Yes.
We didn't have an N64 either. I had a Sega Genesis.
So I watched my friend Andy play Ocarina of Time, and that's how like I originally fell in love with it. And I just have a lot of nostalgia of me just being a child because he was older than me, just watching him play it and getting so excited, like, oh, what's next? What's gonna happen? And just the music and everything. My favorite is what is it? The Song of Storms. That
Yes.
will
Oh, yeah.
always
Which is
be my favorite song, and just.
I hum it to my babies to get
yes.
them to knock out.
I have what is it, the orchestrated version of the soundtrack. Yeah, it's just I
Yeah.
love it. Yes.
I have 85 million more RPGs I could talk about, so we gotta do this again.
So, you guys didn't have N64, so you're telling me you didn't grow up with GoldenEye?
Oh no, well, my friends did. Like I said, my friend Andy did. Yeah. So I played it tons. Oh my god, I can't talk. Drinking Surge, eating pizza, playing GoldenEye. That was like the
My
90s.
dad got us GoldenEye because he loves Bond. That was a big thing with me and my dad, and we played GoldenEye non-stop. My mom was always so mad because she tried to take GoldenEye away from me because she said I played it too much. And then he would come home and be like, well, we're playing GoldenEye.
Probably because you're straight up shooting people, right? She's
Well,
what
there
the
was
fuck?
a whole my sleepwalking incident where I used to sleepwalk as a kid, so I went and stood next to her bed, and when she finally woke up and noticed me, she's like, what are you doing? I told her I couldn't find the room, and she's like, what room? You're in my room. I said, I'm out of ammo, and she's like, no more GoldenEye.
No.
Baby Sarah.
I was kind of in the same boat when I was really excited when Aerith died because I just didn't like her.
So mean,
So it's like,
Sam.
no.
So I will say with the original game, not my favorite, but with the remake, she grows on you.
No, she really does, and like she has a good friendship with Tifa. Where before, like I feel like she'd never even acknowledge her, and she
Yeah.
was just always like up Cloud's ass. But now she has actual story. But they also reference like Zack because that's like a whole other backstory thing, and like they do a better job of fleshing out the story to make it make sense. Where they leave a lot of gaps out in the OG.
So when's the final half coming out? Never?
Fucking
ever?
never. I think it's actually 3 parts.
Oh no!
Well, because the first part is just Midgar.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's like not even the end of the first disc
Whoa.
in the game. The end of the first disc, everybody knows this, right? Aerith dies, okay? So the end of the first disc is when she dies.
Spoilers.
How dare you? Spoilers. Oh my god.
I know,
Our
I'm
poor
sorry.
listeners.
If you haven't been on the internet in 25 years, I'm so sorry that I just spoiled this for you. But,
I didn't
she
know.
gets
How dare you?
filleted through the back. It's very dramatic.
Filleted.
I was very thrilled
You're
about it as a
canceled,
child,
Sam.
which says a lot about me. But no, like, so it ends when they leave Midgar, which probably is halfway through the first disc.
Oh lord.
I will say the third disc, though, is, like, just the, like, last, like, I always call it dungeon now that I'm older, but you know what I mean, like, last big area you go
Yeah.
through.
Where you go fight
Like the
Sephiroth
meteor
and it's
hole.
Like when it was remade, I
Yeah.
knew I would have no time to play it, and I wish I could. So I've just been watching like
It's
Let's Play, like, with
so
Jesse Cox and
fucking
stuff. Yeah.
good.
I know, and it's good because now I can like sit and watch it be played while I have to do everything else in my life.
I could even play it in English, which is a lot for me to say because I'm a prude when it
One of
comes
those
to voice
people.
acting.
One of those.
But they did a really good job.
All right. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in and listen to us ramble about all of our favorite things. Our intro is provided by the Mystical Noodle. You can find their band on Instagram at Arcade Mode MKE or on Facebook as Arcade Mode Band. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as ChaoticNerdtral. Follow us for updates on upcoming episodes, and let us know if there's anything you want us to ramble about. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.